Well, good evening to another Airfix and Chill. Sonny, what have you got on your bench? He's not talking. Are we all talking? Have we got voices?
Sorry, I had to be.
Sorry,
I had to mute my mic because I was having a coughing fit.
Oh, right, I see. Is that Golden State Models?
No, it's Italieri.
Oh, fair enough.
It's a 6 rad. It's one I actually bought from Alex's shop.
Wow!
I thought it looked familiar. That looks like an absolute bargain, Sully.
It was. I need to sell myself on the street now.
I must get in contact with you, Alex. There was 2 models I was looking at that you said you had in your shop. I must talk to you about that after the show. Come to an agreement, I think. Anyways, nice to see you all. To see you nice. Firstly, welcome back, Lexi, Miss Modeler. Hello.
Oh, yeah.
Hey.
We're not worthy. We're not worthy.
We're not worthy. We're not worthy. After a long hiatus, but
Indeed.
Life is going swimmingly for you. Fair play. Lovely to see you at Telford on Sunday. Though you were looking a bit stressed. It's like you've been there for the Saturday and think, fuck this, I'm not staying another hour. You know?
Let's clarify. It's not because of that. It's because of the hotel was absolutely dreadful. That is the sole reason I was so
Is it
tired.
across the road? Is it the one across the road that everybody uses?
Yeah, it was the International.
Really?
So if anyone goes to Telford for a few days, don't stay at the International. Stay at the Holiday Inn or the Travel Lodge, because the International is like sleeping on a rock. So, yeah, not great, but otherwise, at least Telford itself was still great.
Well, it ain't a model show unless you complain about something food related or sleep related, isn't it? You know what I mean? Most model shows serve the most absolute dog shit of food. But then again, I did enjoy my cheeseburger and chips and baked beans that I got from Telford. I thought that was a bit of an improvement to last year. As I ate in front of Alex, who abhors the fact that I've bought a burger. Isn't that right, Alex?
I didn't mind. Looked good. It did look good.
It did look good. And Sonny there, he pulled out an half-eaten sandwich.
It was good. It was chicken tikka.
Right, so we got 2 in the chat that wouldn't have gone to Telford, but will probably have some remarks of what they've seen by other people. We got Fenris. Hi, my man. How are you?
I'm doing all right.
Good.
Kind of a little jealous I didn't get to go to the Telford, but you know.
You could come over next year, mate. Get a ticket.
I want to. I really want to. If not next year, then maybe the following or something. I'm planning on making a trip out there for at least one Telford sometime. That's absolutely on the to-do list.
Yeah, definitely.
There's a really good cocktail bar in Telford, so you can go get drunk with me afterwards. Yeah.
I never go on a Saturday, but I think next year I probably will go for the Saturday and Sunday, take a whole weekend, and go up on the Friday, curry night, Saturday, curry night, Friday, and Sunday go home full of curry. So I might do that.
Yeah.
Saturday
also,
at 9 a.m. is the best time to get all the bargains.
What time?
9 a.m. on the Saturday.
Is there loads of bargains then, is there?
Well, it's just everything sells out really quickly. So, like the Edward stand, loads of their stuff had sold out for the Sunday. They had like loads of popular stock, which just wasn't there anymore because it was all gone.
To be fair, it was ravaged when we got there, wasn't it?
I did like their layout. I looked at all those boxes and bits. I'm like, sod that for a game of soldiers. I ain't going down that road. Definitely not.
Yeah.
And it's cash only, which is bizarre.
Cash only at Eddard's.
Yeah.
Well, that's because the pound's stronger than the euro at the moment, isn't it?
Yeah.
They'll probably bag it up like, in like rolls like drug dealers do and then ship it. Anyways. And then we got John Alec.
All of that cash income.
What's that, sorry?
I'm sure they declared all of that cash income.
Definitely.
Oh, I bet they did. Obviously. Yes, Eddard did. Yes, definitely. We also have John Alec in America.
Hi, everybody. Yeah, Telford is on my bucket list. I would love to go to Telford one of these years, and we'll see.
The thing is, you need to plan it so that on a weekend where you can go and watch Bournemouth on the Saturday and then go to Telford on the Sunday. That's what you need to do.
Well, I think what Miss Modeler is saying is if I want to get some stuff, I might have to go on the Saturday, and see, walk around the stuff,
Saturday, go to
mini
the
art, that
cocktail
kind
bar.
of thing, and see what's there. I'd probably make a whole weekend out of the Telford experience, since that's what I've come there for, or gone there for. Yeah.
Fair enough.
Just don't do what I did and go for drinks on the Friday night and then end up hungover, getting up at 7 a.m. for the show, because that was not legal, gonna be honest.
Well,
out, so I had to try them.
Well, you just watch the game on the TVs at the bar, right? That's how that works, right?
Yeah, there you go, man. Yeah, front row seats. So
the thing is, though, it's at the end of the day, that's what it is, isn't it? Like for me, I wouldn't be able to go Saturdays anyway, because I normally have a gig on a Saturday night, which I did. I got home about 2:00, fell asleep, woke up at 5:30 with the alarm whirring at me, and then I was in the car and up to Scale Model. I got done there in about 3 hours, just under 3 hours, which is pretty good. So yeah, it was not a bad little trek. We had James to boldly go. You never made it, unfortunately, but you did buy yourself an ME 410 from Airfix on the website. We'll talk about that later anyway, about that announcement, which was interesting, to say the least. John Parker, you never made it to Telford, did you, my friend?
No, it's too far.
What?
I bet John Alex would be able to get there quicker than me.
I know you're not that far away. It's only about an hour away from you, isn't it?
45 minutes from the Scottish border.
Is that where you are, is it?
That's where I am, yeah.
That's right. It's only 3 hours down the M5.
It's about 4 hours down the M5. Yeah, about that.
M5, M6, isn't it? M6, sorry, yeah.
It's a 30-minute flight, John.
I would have loved to have gone to Telford to see Moss's 3D resin peg stand. It would have been brilliant.
Saying about that, I did meet up with 3D Gizmo, which is fair play to him.
Did you?
Yeah, I'll show you in a bit. He gave me some goodies, and I'm absolutely blown away with the generosity of the man. We know Sully went to Scale Model World, but I met up with Alex there as well, didn't we? All three of us were mooching around, having a look at some of the models. I thought the displays were pretty good. The one that got me more than anything, believe it or not, was that Revell have now released a quick build Messerschmitt 109, right? I'm not joking when I say they wanted 40 quid for it. 40 quid for Lego, honestly. And it didn't even look all that. It looked like, you remember years ago when Lego was the in thing and you had this poor man's Mega Block, with the little hose in the top? Well, it looked like that.
Yeah.
It looked really poor. But I was just absolutely shocked at the price of 40 quid for that model, RRP.
How big is it? Like,
it was roughly 1/32 scale. And the Airfix one is around about the 148, I think.
Honestly, if Lego came out with it, I could see that easily being like a 60 or more. So,
well, Lego wouldn't do it anyway because they
they wouldn't. Yeah, that still feels steep, though. That still feels steep. Yeah.
But with Lego, in all fairness, with Lego, it would always look like the back end of the game of Minecraft, wouldn't it, when it's finished?
Yeah.
I mean,
to be fair, Lego shy away from the whole World War thing, so and militaristic.
Yeah, they've never done a tank, have they? I can't remember in all the years I've done Lego have I ever seen a tank.
I think, to be fair to Revell, though, that's the RRP. Do you ever see Revell stuff at RRP?
Yeah, Hobbycraft. So fuck off.
Well, okay.
To be fair, though, it is more in line with Kobe's pricing, which is, I think, who they're more directly competing against, rather than Airfix's quick builds. I don't think they're viewing it as like children's as much as Airfix's, because Kobe's ones are all about sort of between like 30 to 50 quid.
The Edo stand looked pretty good. The Revell stand, look, it was good to see Revell there, don't get me wrong, and their Mandalorian range is looking pretty strong with the vehicle that Mandy, you know, the Mandalorian flies around in. They got like the
Razor
Razor
Crest.
Crest or
yeah, they got the Grogu there. No, not the Razor Crest. The other one that you had, where you had the dome on the
Season
top.
3
Where,
one, the Naboo
Yeah.
Naboo Starfighter.
yeah.
That looked pretty tasty, to be honest. That did look pretty tasty, but they announced
And
that.
that is a new Revell tool. It's not Bandai.
Mm.
Did they have any
It was
meteors
as
there?
well. Pardon, my friend?
Did they have any meteors there? You know, that new release meteor?
No,
No.
didn't see that. But if it did, they would have had it under lock and key because it would have been gold plated, surely, for the price of the bloody thing. Didn't have that there, but I think that's a misdemeanor. If I remember, the announcement happened before the summer, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So in theory, that should be out by now, shouldn't it?
Should be out by now. Perhaps they've had some issues with it.
Yeah. But yeah, I was you know.
Maybe they had some wing pylons for it that had wheels underneath them.
Yeah.
Well, perhaps the company they were nicking off weren't finished with it yet.
Probably not.
Yeah. So also, I'll tell you, Airfix. I've never seen so many Airfix staff there. Like was
It looked pretty big.
Yeah, it was huge. They must have had 12 staff there. I met their new data girl, the woman. You know your horny points you get from when you buy from Hornby website. You get your horny
Alex.
points.
He did say what we thought he said then.
Every time you say that, when you mention her name, boss, it sounds like Horny Points, not Hornby.
Yeah.
It is horny points. Horny point. When you get your horny points from the Hornby website, yeah, you can get kits. Well, this woman called Louise is in charge of that. She does all of it, and she was saying that she spent a lot of time getting it all together. And to be fair, the website is pretty swell. When they announced the ME410, the website went really sluggish. They were really struggling to do stuff on the website because everybody was hitting it. So going by that recce of information, it looks like the 410 has come to
it will be popular.
Very popular. But we kind of knew they were doing it anyway, so but we kept it hush. But we didn't sign any NDAs, unlike some people. They had to sign NDAs, which is interesting. Because as you know, the model was already built on the channel, which kind of pissed a lot of us creators off. No photo of Airfix. Now, I was talking to another scale model retailer today who was also pissed off because when they signed the NDA, they were told that they weren't allowed to tell anyone or give this model out before they release it on the Friday. And they said that they would have gladly sent me a copy of that to build. But they saw in the small print or in the print of the NDA, if they were to hold stock of it ready for Friday, nobody was to see it, nobody was to get it, and nobody was to know about it. They signed an NDA. And when this certain company gave it to a modeler to build, it's kind of pissed off the scale model.
Jadlam. Sorry.
I didn't say that. I'm not mentioning any names, but they said that
it's an open secret.
the piss was taken. So they're annoyed about it. Obviously, Jadlam didn't do nothing wrong. They didn't do nothing wrong because I was in contact with 2 scale model shops today, contacting me, apologizing, saying if they could have done it, they would have sent me a kit to build. So I was quite grateful for that. For them, they said that to me, but you know, the things will be changed next time. You know me, I love reviewing Airfix kits. That's my main passion and that's why I've got loads of kits that I haven't built. It's because I just love buying Airfix and reviewing them. Not just Airfix, anything with the word Airfix on it, I buy.
I must say, Moss, I remain skeptical at Dale's explanation.
Pardon?
I remain skeptical at Dale's explanation, and that next time it will be different.
Well, I'm hoping it will be different. And Dale has never lied to me, you know, Alex. He's always been up front. He tells him what he can say, and he doesn't. If he can't say anything, he won't.
He
And
didn't
that-
say
and
that they weren't going to be preferentially releasing it to certain retailers, though, which I think is part of the core of the problem.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, because they
we'll
do
see.
it all the time, don't they?
Mm. Well, there's a lot of talk because I was talking to a model shop today. I say I'm not going to mention any names because I feel it's unfair to, but he says that when he signs up to buy certain product, he guarantees that he's told that he has to sell it when it gets released at the recommended retail price. He has to. But there are certain model shops online, big model shops, who will do a pre-order and knock a tenner off or a fiver off before it's even cheaper than the Airfix website. And he was wondering why does he always get stumped by that, because he cannot do it cheaper because he's agreed to sell it at RRP. But it's the debate that's going to be happened amongst all model company models retailers,
Shops.
And shops. Is the ball is the playing field fair? For instance,
No, it's not.
the model shop. One instance he was bemoaning was that a certain online retailer, a big one, when hobby companies say they've got Tamiya extra thin in stock, a certain company will buy the complete lot, will buy all of it outright, and then nobody else can get it because the hobby company sold out. And that's not fair on the smaller retailers. And at the time when smaller retailers are saying, we need your help to keep surviving, but the big guys are taking the piss by buying the complete stock, I can see that happening. So I don't know. It's a really strange predicament that smaller retailers have. But yeah, there was all sorts shared, and it was a just interesting chat because people talk. I talk to people and they talk to me, and sometimes I just feel that that's the way it's got to be. That's illegal for suppliers to fix pricing. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know where it stands with that. I really don't.
It's part of the core terms and conditions of a lot of companies. It's illegal for them to fix pricing. It's not illegal for them to say for a period of however long after a new release, you are not allowed to give more than X% discount.
Yeah.
That is part of the core terms and conditions of a lot of a lot of wholesalers and producers, T's and C's, including Hornby.
Yeah.
Have you been restrained to that, Alex?
Yeah, and I am not notified. So I'll be upfront. I think it's bullshit. I said this to Dale. I was very upfront with him. I've been an international distribution manager for 3-4 companies. It's the quickest way to kill off your distribution network outside of those people you give preferential treatment to, because you're just not able to compete, especially when you're thinking the ones they're giving preferential treatment to are the larger companies, which are on credit terms. They have larger balances. So small guys like us, if we don't get notification before the release, that means when it's released, we're playing catch up. We don't have any pre-orders. We have to buy the stock that we want at our own cost. So Airfix get the money up front. We have to do that on cost. And you hold it on your shelves hoping that somebody hasn't bought it from somebody else when they're giving big discounts because they can make it on number rather than margin. So it's a real shitty thing to do. And I was very upfront with Dale. I don't mind saying that. Because that's the way it is, right? Because as a small retailer, you have to still give discount in the same way that the big boys do. Otherwise, you're not competitive and you just won't get that business. Yeah. Unless you just want stock to sit on your shelves, which is dead money, right? Because the companies have all had that because you're not on credit. So everything in my shop, I've bought. So I have literally, almost £10,000 worth of stuff in my shop that's come out of my bank balance.
Yeah.
Right, until I sell it. So that is, giving that money to Airfix, to Revell, to the hobby company, to Creative or whoever, until I then sell that on. So the big companies aren't like that. So they'll get credit terms for whatever it is, 30 days, say, so they can pre-order, get the stuff in, sell it. They've made their margin. So by the time they can pay the bills, they've already got the money in the bank.
Yeah.
So it's much, much easier for them. So if a company was to give preferential treatment to anybody, I would expect it to be the opposite way around, right? Give it to the small guys, because they're not going to take much of the pie anyway, right? If I sold 3 or 4 kits in the shop, right, from a pre-order, how is that going to affect Jadler? It is not.
Of course it isn't.
So I think it's very, very poor practice from Airfix. And speaking as a small model shop, it will affect my relationship with them. If they carry on doing this, I will move away from Airfix. They're already the most difficult company to do business with out of any of the others. And I do have a potential other route for that, and I will go away from Airfix direct supply. And that's them forcing me to, because I love Airfix. You know, I love what they're doing. You know, it's just that's shitty business.
You know, to be fair though, because Dale was head of brand, and I think sales is a different department, because it is, you know, it's got to be a different department, hasn't it? Because the sales guys, they sent everything.
It doesn't matter though, Moss. It doesn't matter. It's the perception of the company. If you're head of brand and you're selling one idea and the actuality is something else, ultimately you've got to figure that out internally. It's right. Airfix's problem. It's Hornby's problem to sort out, not the retailers. Because otherwise we will sort it out by not supplying Airfix.
Well, not buying Airfix, I mean, yeah. Not supplying them, yeah. But also, to be fair though, he took it on the chin with you. I saw you there because I didn't really get involved in the debate, you know. But he was really open and honest with you, and he did say, you know, what he felt and everything. And that's the Dale. As I said, out of all of them, I think you talked to the right guy. So whether he'll go back and do something for you or for others, but there's a lot to be said. You know, we're very. So you know, I think Airfix is. People in Airfix are very, very open.
I mean, I do really appreciate the way that Dale will go and be very honest and open. That doesn't help me pay my mortgage. No. That doesn't help me. If I go to the bank and say, yeah, but my suppliers have been very open about how they're giving preferential terms to everybody else, they'll be like, where's my £1,000 a month for the mortgage? You know, so at the end of the day, it's great, but, you know.
Bendito, let us know what your model shop is. We'll come and visit, because I'm going to plan a road trip in the new year. I'm going to go all the way up to Margate to Model Works, but I'm going to do a road trip and visit as many model shops as I can on the way there. And then, so if you if you're going like from like the Somerset border all the way up to Margate and you're in that area, let me know. I'm going to come and visit you. That's the idea. So, but yeah, so you just put a comment up saying that we had the Hornby account taken away a few years back as we didn't stock rail. To be honest, was a good move, as we now can deal with third-party suppliers who offer a good blend of price and supply. You know, yeah. So that's a fair shout. Oh, the Sussex Model Centre.
Yeah,
brilliant. I'll be on my way there because I've got to visit Plastech as well. And go and visit Mark up there. I'll definitely pop in and see you there, mate. I will definitely come in. You're on my way, because my brother lives in just past Hastings Bexhill way. So the idea is to kit my van out with a futon and a toilet and a cooker, and then drive up and camp in my van and go buy in and visit in model shops and do a video on it. That's my plan, a proper road trip. And I might even pop in and see Alex's shop as well, because I've been promising him to go and visit. I will come up, but yeah, I've got a plan of actually doing it. So, thank you for that, my friend. I'll be visiting you soon. So yeah, I will, Paul. It's like prepay, but you can't sell it on to you. I don't know what that's all about, so I missed that. Oh, Kevin's got his T-shirt. Brilliant. Glad you got your T-shirt, mate. Thank you. And Captain VFC's written, any rumours about me going to the pub and getting drunk instead of joining today's stream was slanderous. No, he's a bastard liar. He said he went off to drink, but it said, you know, that thing about sponsors, you can go on.
Sorry, I was just going to say, I don't think it's slander. My girlfriend was in litigation, so, you know.
Yeah.
Well, I think he specifically said rumors. Any mentions of it as truth, that's, you know, a different thing. Any fact is different.
Yeah.
Jaden Jones. Hi, Moz. Nice to see you at the show at the Airfix stand. White bearded man you talk to. Hi, Hayden. Nice to see you. Are you the one who said that you enjoyed the podcast as I'm the Airfix fanboy and Alex is the professor? Because I can't hear you ever said that to us. It made us want to do more podcasts. I'm glad.
I shall put these on for the remainder of the night. I've been loving doing my articles every week. I'm writing one now about Telford and about, so if you want to catch out or want to look at my my Substack, which gives you an article every week, emailed to your desktop or your phone. Subscribe to me on Substack. It's completely free. I've turned off subscriptions. When I first set up, they asked you to make a £5 donation each month, but I've been able to turn that off now. Now I've got so many subscribers, so which is good. But yeah, going back to Telford quickly. Hang on. Visit my shop, AC Models, East Hampshire. Email me if you've got a shop in the southern part of the UK, from the Taunton area all the way up to Margate. Send me an email and I'll pop in and visit you. Definitely, I'll pop in and visit you. That's the plan. Make sure you're in. Okay, so going back to Telford. That's the beauty of Telford, that you can talk to the companies about things that you're interested in. Did you see anything up there, Sully, that really caught your eye from the manufacturers or anything?
I'll be honest with you, I didn't really get that much chance to look.
Didn't you?
But no, I mean, it's in all honesty, I was more happy just like meeting up with you guys. I had a bit of a look around. I was more interested in just getting like little supply bits than actual anything else. So I wasn't really paying that much attention to stuff. But look, I mean, most of us as well. We had a look at the Tamiya one together, didn't we?
Yeah.
That was pretty cool, to be fair. Like we said earlier, I wasn't overly impressed with Edard's. Just on the state of, all them little upgrade boxes, just in one big box with product codes, and I was like, I don't know what I'm looking at. And there's some stuff I wanted to get, because you know me, I'll always buy Edard stuff, but that was just a mess. That was. I mean, me and Alex were there for all of about 5 minutes, and there was like, nah. I
said Edard. It was like that. It was boxes and boxes and boxes, wasn't it? So, which was
you couldn't. It wasn't even if it was in like sort of like undercarriage and seats and belts. It was just like stuff in a box.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like clearing out your grand's attic.
Yeah.
Yeah. The main reason to go to the Edward stand, I think, like Miss Modeler said, you get bargains on the Saturday that you don't get on the Sunday. Edward had a whole bunch of overtrees, which are just the sprues of a model, no decals, no photo etch, no instructions, just the sprues, and they sold like hotcakes. They were only taking cash, so people went, they bought them. You could get I got a 109K, the Kerr First, 2023 molding from Edward, £10.
Wow.
It's you can download the instructions from ScaleMates. I've got tons of decals anyway, so you don't.
Or you can download them from Edard.
Yeah. So a lot of that was the big draw, I think, on Edward's stand. I mean, if you're going to go to get photo etch and stuff, it's so much easier to find it on the website.
Yeah.
Looking at the chat, there's some really good comments coming through. This made me laugh. Somebody pinched the printed list Edard had lying around with all the price lists on. Poor price. Be right back. Need to order more NATO green from Outlaw. Yeah, they released it and they sold a ton of it. It went really, really well. I am so pleased that Outlaw is now in the hands of you guys. Honestly, if you are using Outlaw paint, email me and send me pictures of your builds. It will be fantastic to see. Alex is now stocking it as well. Is it on your website yet or not, Alex?
No, not on the website yet, because there's like bloody dozens of them to put on.
Was it 180, 190 pots of paint so far?
More importantly, Alex, are you stocking the Outlaw Railway colours?
Oh.
No, I've got the whole military range. I mean, basically, because it's a bit more than normal paint, you know. So to get all the military range, to get multiple colours of it, not huge margins. That's quite an investment. So I just couldn't afford the the full range. But I will be getting them probably. James and I had this conversation yesterday. I've had a lot of RC people come into the shop as well, because there's a couple of RC clubs near me, and some of the colours of Outlaw are perfect for RC cars. You know, some really nice pearlescence and stuff. So I've already sold him. I'll be expanding my range come the next order when the slow boat from China gets here.
John Christmas said, ask Outlaw for 2 colours and didn't have either. Oh dear. That'd be interesting.
Well, if the military colours, get in touch.
Yeah, if the military colours go, they did sell a ton, which is good. Well, everyone in the chat, you know, please ask questions about. We want to make this about Telford today. Write in the comments anything you thought was good, anything you thought was okay, and what you thought was crap. I will slightly say that I was there when they did the 11 a.m. and they had the 2-minute silence. I don't know about you, but after everything's been happening in the world, I was expecting some sort of orange puff of smoke to go up, an oil protester to come out, or some sort of protest. But I think that's the difference. I think for me with scale modeling, because we are scale models and we know the history of what we build. There's always a reverence there at the 11 a.m. memorial 2 minutes. It's always a reverence for everyone. It is as soon as you get to Scale Model World, I was queuing up and I was talking to Peter Oxley actually in the queue, bless him, and we were talking about scale modeling and stuff. I won't go into detail because it's a bit of a private chat. But as we walked in, you get that drone of people talking. As soon as you get in there, there's no silence. But as soon as the whistle blows and the bugle's played, there is complete silence. It's eerie silence. And I tell you what, I think even the air conditioning goes off. And it's quiet as well, because you can hear a pin drop. It's incredible. It's really, really good.
Apart from that dickhead's phone going off.
What's that, sorry?
This is apart from that dickhead's phone going off.
Oh, yeah, that's always going to happen, isn't it?
Yeah, that's happened every single year that I've been there, and it happened on the Saturday and the Sunday as well. So, yeah.
It's, but, it's there's going to be a lot of, if you did buy Outlaw paint, let me know. And we will, and then we'll exchange notes, because as I said, I've got the full range now on my bench. I even had to buy another rack to put Australian colours up. See, I had a little bit of a thing about it. I said that a lot of Australian colours are English colours anyway, which Jason then bitched at me and says, no, it's not. No, it's not. And I don't know whether that was a marketing thing because he wants to sell more paint. But no, honestly.
They're just British colours that have been out in the sun too long.
And talk of Outlaw paints, we got the man of the hour, James. Hello, my friend.
Hey.
Hi, guys. I'm only popping in very quickly because you can see I've darkened everything so you can't see just how haggard I actually look.
Yeah.
It's a great weekend.
Full screen a minute.
Oh, don't do that,
you had a good time then, my friend.
Yeah, Sprubox did really, really well. Obviously, we launched Outlaw paints. To the comment that was in there earlier about some colours, yes, we did run out of colours. REF range, definitely. You're glad to know that Alex has got the full range. So you drop him a line or drop me a line, whichever. It was... as all things, you never quite know what to do and what to take. So I took every part of the delivery I had There were some problems with the delivery. We did, unfortunately, some packer somewhere has a range of Outlaw paints that he shouldn't have had, or she shouldn't have had, but we didn't get it. So that was a bit disappointing, but that, it's one of those things. But yeah, everybody was super excited about it. Lots of positive feedback and chats about the fact it got to the UK. Poor Alex is, yeah, our conversation. We'll keep that between ourselves, Alex. But yeah, I appreciate the expansion that you're going to have to do. The military range sold really, really well. Yeah, I don't even know all the true figures at the moment because the truth is I got home at 12 o'clock today, unpacked the van and went back to bed. I just blown completely. But also surprisingly for me a little bit was the railway colours. I didn't expect them to have the interest they did on the Sunday, because on the Saturday there was a couple of comments, that was it. On the Sunday it was a lot more about railway colours and car colours and the pearls and all that sort of stuff that we stock. So
well, I'm surprised you didn't think that Sunday would be a good day, because on Saturday they're normally out trying to catch the numbers on the side of trains.
I can't make comments about that. Working in the industry myself, I would not. I can't confirm or deny any of what you just said. But yeah, it was Sunday was really good actually, because Saturday I didn't get out from behind the stall pretty much most of the day. Moss will tell you I literally had a 2-minute conversation with him, maybe twice. I think.
Yeah, he blanked me, the bastard. He just blanked me.
I tried to blank him, but he caught my eye. So
I'm sorry, James. I did tell him where you were. So
yeah, no, that's cool.
My bad.
And even to the point, what was even funnier was I don't even remember what day it was. I haven't got a clue when you came or not. But he said to me that Jason, he was getting messages from Jason, and my phone was red hot because Jason. I said to Jason, "I'll do a live. We'll have a chat." Blah 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 blah. I didn't have time for it. Just didn't have time. So from our perspective, yeah, really successful. Very happy with how things went. It was a great opener. Loads more to come, and as Moss alluded to, that the range has expanded. So what's on the website right now is not the range. The range has not been updated on there. We kept it under a wrap for Telford only. As you probably are aware, if you've been going on and off the Spruebox site, you can't order very much at the moment because it's all out of stock. But the reason for that is we wanted to make sure we took the maximum amount of stock to the show for the launch. So once we've had the chance to go through it all, everything will be updated on the website. I've done a blog today just explaining a few bits and pieces on there. That's gone out this evening. And yeah, I'm going to go and pick my missus up in about 20 minutes and then I'll go back to bed. So love you loads. To everybody that's messaging me, my phone is red hot. But I will get to you, but it won't be this evening. But I'm going to be here with you for a little bit, have a cigarette and a chat.
No, honestly, mate. Like I said, it was actually Roger, my friend, who's a model enthusiast, railways. He doesn't make anything. He buys it all. The only thing he makes is dioramas. He's like a bit of a legend. So, but he has said that he's got trains in his lineup that need to have. They've come from the manufacturer the wrong color, and he wants to put them right. And he said over the years he'd be reluctant to do that because all he's got British Railway wise is enamel from Humbrol. And he doesn't want to use it. He says, you know, he can use an airbrush because he's a panel beater by trade. Yeah. But he said that the thing that's exciting a lot of railway enthusiasts is the fact that they now have a second option in painting their, is it rolling stock? They call it rolling stock. So
absolutely.
I think that's the crux for you, mate.
Just to answer a comment in there from Paul Price. Outlaw Paint started with railway colours. That is what they're very much well known for. And I'm super stoked at the fact that we've got the range here. I had a few comments about I'll give you one example. We had a comment from someone that said, "Why have you got Australian colours? That's not going to sell, is it?" To which it's, well, yeah, that it's got an Australian label on it, or it's an Australian rail colour, but the colours you can transfer across to different things.
Yeah.
But the funniest part was there was a person standing next to that person that made the comment and went, "I'll be buying them."
Yeah.
So yeah, we've got the stock. I will put a notice out explaining what didn't come. Jason's been working like a Trojan the last week or so, trying to figure out what's gone on. So once we've got that figured out and the next one's on the way, then I'll keep you posted. But just to manage expectations a little bit, obviously I'm a small business. Alex is a small business. Restocking will not necessarily be a problem, but please understand that we brought a shipment in. We weren't sure how it was going to go, so I've gone to the max I possibly can, like Alex has with the military range. So there may be a time where there may be empty shelves for a little bit, but the joy of that, on the more positive note, it's not up on the website yet, but it should be by the end of the week. There's going to be a special form that goes up. So if you've got anything you're particularly looking for and want, you can send off basically a statement of interest, if you like. We're going to put that up on the website because we've been asked to. So that won't necessarily be a pre-order, but it is a statement of interest. So, and alongside that will be, because there was a couple of colours that came up in conversation from people, of which we don't have with, I can give you the example. I can't remember exactly what it was called, but it's an interior colour for British armour in the 1950s. Now that's not in the British range. However, it is in the Australian range. So we do have a colour. It is not on the website. It is one of the 80 odd extra military colours that was released by us in the UK only this weekend. So I didn't have time to put it up on the website, and also I didn't want to do that because I didn't want to confuse people with the stock levels with the show and everything else. So watch out for those. And yes, to answer another comment that was made earlier, that there's some colours. I think Moss, you may have alluded to it. There are some colours that transfer over the countries. Yes, there are.
Yeah.
I'll put my hands up. However, if you are the sort of person that wants to have the country range, yes, you might have some repeats of colours, but you'll have the labels for your country range.
Yeah.
And apparently, I was a little concerned whether people would want that or like that, but certainly from the feedback we got the weekend, people are very much, I want to have the German range. I want to have the British range.
Yeah.
So we're going to look at that as well. So in the new year, we may be doing a package of some description as well. But that's just thought process. It's not physical fact. It's just something that I'm trying to work through and figure out how we could do that. But I also want to. I hope the guys are watching actually, because I did tell them about Moss. Yeah, he looks like that.
I'll put it back on in a minute.
We also had two Tin Coats with us as well, which is an acrylic paintbrush range. And it was brilliant to see how that, because they're more known for wargaming, and they're very well known in the wargaming bit of our hobby. But the fact that they can transfer over to the military side and what we do at Telford more so was great to see. And we had Sam there demonstrating on figures, on tanks and all sorts of stuff, answering loads of questions. So that was pretty cool. And I can't tell you exactly what's going to happen, but I can tell you that next year is going to be as big as Outlaw with two Tin Coats. So yeah,
should put this up, James.
Oh yeah.
Now you know how much I love the yellow trainer and the lemon yellow. Gary has just posted his first build of Outlaw paints, and I'll tell you what, you know what I mean about yellow. That yellow
that's solid.
It's
the best. I know there was something I wanted to get that day.
Yeah, I forgot as well.
Fuck's sake.
But it's sold out. Have you still got any in stock, James?
So the lemon yellow, I'm fairly certain we've got some of that. The REF yellow, I'm not 100%. The RF trainer yellow, I'm not 100% sure what the levels are. They may be quite low, but definitely the RF. I'll be open about it. The RF colours were hammered, absolutely hammered. You know, I had 3 people picking it at one stage, and a list as long as your arm of people waiting for what they wanted. So. Yeah, I don't even know what day it is, Moss, let alone what happened.
Well, yeah, so this is his first build apparently. So
yeah, that's amazing. I love that.
It's
and one thing like you alluded to as well, you know, just remember you're using this product. It's new to the UK. Be an ambassador for it. If you love it, shout and scream about it, because you know.
Yeah.
I know Alex will agree with me that it's a product you want on your bench, or you should have on your bench. And that's not a sales pitch. That's not me going, oh, well, I can make a few sales. It's not. It just is. It's blown my socks away, and I'm so fortunate to be able to bring it to the UK. And you know, you guys out there that do model making, it's a game changer, isn't it, Moss?
Oh, as I said to you before, when we had the chat, I said to you straight away. I said that I've got a chap who's in his 80s, and he saw me demonstrate the paint at a local model show at Model Club, and all I used was a battery-powered 20-pound airbrush, and I sprayed it. And now he's a brush painter. Sorry, Plastic, you're a bit noisy. Hang on.
Sorry, mate.
I'll mute you a minute. He's a brush painter, so this will be the first time I believe he's going to be airbrushing, and he feels confident enough because he saw my demonstration. So it's a single action machine, so it's blowing air all the time, and you just pull back the trigger how much paint you need. For the first, and I reckon he will be able to use Outlaw paint because there's no mixing required. It's straight out of the brush, at the airbrush. I reckon that will be his way of an 80-year-old getting into airbrushing, because whether you're a beginner or a professional, you're going to get the result that you intend to have by using Outlaw paint. And there's a big claim from me to say that. And I, you know, I don't like being called the ambassador, but I do take that responsibility on. I love the paint so much that I've bought the range. So that's my, you know, remember so I say bullshit. Because it was a prize. It was an auction for models for heroes, and I think my winning bid was like 670 quid. All right, that gave me the full range of military, which was 120 paints. But because Jason is being great, you know, being kind, because they increased it by another 57, he gave me the extra paints to go with it. You know, I put my money where my mouth is. I've all my Tammy is in a drawer now, in case I need it for another. Because you can still hand brush with it for interior and stuff. But everything I airbrush now on my builds will be Outlaw paint. And if I haven't got the right color, I'll still use Outlaw paint and just make it work for me. You know. So that's where my money is that I've actually bought the entire range available now, and also Models for Heroes gained as well. So, you know, that's how I see my investment in it. So as I said, that's how that's how I see it. So yeah, I'll put my words just quickly. As I say, this is the lemon yellow. So it's United States bottle.
Lemon
yellow. Now, the trainer yellow is that one there. So if I give it a good shake, 1, 2, 3, 3 shakes, and you're there. 4 times you're masturbating. But there you go. There's the yellow. That's the Australian trainer yellow. And there's the UK trainer. And the UK trainer yellows is a little bit lighter than the Australian one. So you can, I'll put myself on big screen so you can see it. So there's a difference in it. So you can see there, that one on the right, this one here is the RAF trainer yellow, and this one here is the Australian. You can just see there's a slight different, there's a bit darker. the Australian one, and this the
Can you
UK
hold
one.
up the US with that as well?
But the UK one, the US one is the lemon
Yeah.
yellow, which is the proper bolt. So my recommendation is, if you want to do a proper yellow plane, this lemon yellow is sublime, and that's the first one I used.
Yeah.
And I sprayed it that night, and I did a live stream with James, and I had a Meteor that had a really dark grey, or Tamiya's dark grey primer on it, and I went over it once, and it blew me knickers off. I was so impressed with yellow, because yellow is one of the hardest ones to paint. So
yeah, we did when he says we did a live. We didn't do a live to the world. I was a bit sneaky. I meant to ask his permission, but I recorded him because I wanted to see the reaction. I still haven't sent that to you. I must sort that out.
Yeah, you must send it to him, mate. That'd be really good.
But I've not published that. I've not published that on purpose because the reaction from Moss I've never seen from a modeler ever. And I can't repeat the words that we used either, but that's not the point. But yeah, it's looking at, I mean, I bear in mind I had the delivery of the paint literally 2 weeks before the show at Telford, so I haven't actually sat down and really looked at all the products comparison wise, but there are, like Moss has alluded to, there are differences. Although they've got the same names, there are differences in the paints, and it's going to be interesting because also going back to what you were saying there, when you're doing a yellow, if you've got slightly different colors, you're on a winner, because you're then starting to do your fade in and bits and pieces. If you're using an aircraft that's, the painting is old, so it's covered. It's covered, but we haven't shouted about it. I mean, the certainly in the rail range, there are at least 3 or 4 colors that I can think of that have got 4 different versions, purely so you can do your fading effects and all that sort of stuff. And like you said, it's all pre-mixed, ready to rock and roll. And what you don't use, you just pour back in the bottle. So there is no waste. And I was funny because obviously we had the 2 thin coats there, and I was saying to people when talking about Outlaw, saying that really all you need to do, and this is honest truth, 2 thin layers, not 2 thin coats, 2 thin sprays or passes with your airbrush, and you've got your colour. But one thing, like I said to Moss earlier this afternoon, was bear in mind as well, sometimes, not with all paints, but some paints, when you spray it on, you might think, oh, look, that doesn't look quite right. Leave it for a little bit, let it settle. The colour can change very slightly. Duck egg blue was one of those colours, just popped in my head. Duck egg blue was one of those colours. Someone I know that I'd sent out as a sample had sprayed it and initially thought, oh, no, that colour's right off. And they went off and made a cup of coffee or doing something, whatever they do. And when they came back, it was spot on. So, bear that in mind, and don't over flood your models with the paint. You really don't need to. There isn't a learning curve as such with it, but those 2 things are the things in which I would recommend. Nice thin layers, and let the product sit for a little bit. Saying that, at the show, I took the models that I'd done, as well as some other people had done, as examples, so you could pick them up and look at, touch the texture of how it sat on the plane or train or whatever it was that was there, purely so you can see. And there was no, I promise you, there was no clear coats put over it or any funny business. It was literally primed, painted, done. That was it. So we had a 109 there that the budget modeler Steph did. The videos on his channel went out Monday, I think. And he did a comparison with Alcalad one side and Outlaw on the other. And he did exactly the same thing. He just put the paint down and sent it. If you turn the plane over, you would have seen written on it the 2 product names. So he did that for me as a comparison. I didn't know. I didn't see it until the Friday when it arrived, and he told me the video was going out. So it's super exciting.
Yeah. Fair enough. I need to go for the full 2 days next year, as I'm missing Outlaw paints. Yeah, I think next year you'll have, you would have been established And I think
we're already booked for next year. We've
already
reserved the table already and paid the deposit, so we will be there.
From Outlaw Paints, he's coming over from Australia, isn't he?
Potentially, we'll have the Outlaw team there as well. So that's going to be a busy store.
It is. I'm going to be there.
I have to say a big shout out to James as well. So James helped me with the racks. Thank you for the racks, James. Fantastic. And he helped me out with the racks and a sack truck, get them in the back of my car after a very busy 2 days when the poor guy had only had about 3 hours sleep, I think, in the preceding 72 hours. So, massive shout out to James. Thank you for that. And it's all set up in the shop. I opened this morning with Outlaw paints in stock. So it's really great. Thank you.
That's a pleasure. I'm pleased they're in the shop. Good luck with it.
I'm just going to get them all on the website. So,
to be honest, send me a picture of that, will you? We'll pop it up on our social media as well. Like I said to you on the day, we'll do that. One of my things I said over the weekend, which is the ethos of Sprewbox, is that I want to make sure that the customers are supported throughout the journey of their projects. So we're always there to help you no matter what, whether it's the start, the finish, the middle, whatever. But we also, everybody that we bring to us, we have the community thought process. So Alex is part of our family as far as I'm concerned now. And we are there to help him. And every supplier that we will have will become part of our family. So I can't tell you exactly who they are right now, but from the weekend I was asked by several people if they could get involved and help. So, which is great for me, but also great for them. But we will concentrate on the smaller business, shall we say, because it's important to support the little people. Because I'm a little person. And I'm grateful for the support that Alex gives me, and Two Thin Coats and Outlaw and all the others to come. But it's that's the approach that we want. And it sounds like a bit of a sales patter. It's not. It is truly how I have operated for the last 6-7 years within the modelling community, and that will carry on 100%. So anyway, enough of me waffling. You've got other
that's fine, mate. I'm just waiting for my Outlaw T-shirt.
Did you not send one to you yet? Oh, well,
he hasn't yet. I have to have words with him. Apparently, there's a merch store I can buy one from.
Yeah, there is. It's not on our website yet. I haven't put it on there yet because I just haven't had time. But there is a merch section, and he's set it up in a way wherever you are in the world, you can order the merch through that link. And it's sourced and sorted by a local company of the country in which you're in, and it will be sent out to you that way rather than it coming from Australia. So that's a pretty cool idea. There's some other bits and pieces coming from us too. So, but that's all planned. Anyway, I feel like I've just popped on to say I'm amazing, and now I'm going. Rude.
Hot monsters every week.
Yeah, well, yeah. That's a fair comment. I'll take it. I'll take it, and I will. I promise. Try and be with you next week, all the week after, for the full thing, and sit in the background and just support you guys. So
no, that's fair enough, mate. It's well, you're the supplier. So when I've had you on the diecast and modelers group, haven't I, as well?
I've got to get back to them as well. God, I've forgotten that.
Yeah. I was just saying, it's like for using it on diecast as well, for those who restore diecast, all those dust collections and stuff like that, the dust collector scale collectors, they will definitely use the primer on their models, and also the metallics and everything, because they bring out an amazing car range. And I think that 2K, which I'm yet to try, but I'm hoping we're going to get some in the next month or so. I'm looking forward to building one of the starter sets and finishing it off with a 2K to see what it's like. So, but yeah, just quickly, Dave Langmead here saying hi after a rather busy weekend between the 30-second SIG And the West Midlands Police Table count steps registered 3.9 miles on Sunday. Well, that'll keep you fit for the beat, wouldn't it, mate? But you'd like to see you there, farty croc. I think that's how you say it, isn't it? PH is an F, isn't it? Farty croc.
It is. Yeah.
And also get in contact with me, mate, when your next model show is and where you're going to host it. And I will probably make the trip up there and visit you there, and hopefully see Sully there as well with his models.
I should be there. Well, I plan to be.
Yeah, we will be putting up publishing a list of where we'll be going for next year. Haven't got there yet, but got lots of invitations to go to different places. So we've just got to sit down and select where we're going, what we can afford, etc. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. So anyway, I'm going to shoot off. Sorry again.
Go get some shut eye and get some of that Outlaw Yellow back in stock.
It's in stock. It's in stock. You got the All right, I'm going.
Mate. God bless you.
Love to you all, Lexi. Love
Cheers.
to see you, mate.
Night, James.
Bye
Bye, James.
Bye, James.
Bye.
So that picture that Miss Modeller's put up, there's us there at the Scale Model World. I was there wearing my Airfix 148 t-shirt that I've been told I'm not allowed to sell. But I said, quoting, it's not Airfix, it's an air conditioning company in Brazil. And that was 140. They do 1 in 48 different varieties of air conditioning units.
That's a great picture.
But yeah, we were there.
That's so awesome.
You know, it was good times. But so I didn't see you very long. You look really pissed off, to be honest, Lexi. So, but I can't believe you got those Mac models, and the amount of money the dealers were charging was just absolutely disgraceful. The charge, I can't believe it.
To be fair, one of the ones I got is literally 60 quid. Is all I can find it for, and I got it for 20. So
I know that, but it's a mockery. Mac models, it's just the piss take. But anyway, it's hopefully we'll get we'll have a Lexi purple in Outlaw colours next year that you can spray on.
I'd buy that.
Or Lexi pink.
Lexi purple.
Yeah, so
that'd be good for one of plastics builds. Is that outrageous?
Man's model moments orange.
Yeah, right. Well, I've got a Moz glossy sea blue for me Bearcat, so maybe they'll do a man's orange. Black Rifle Works is in. I did pass your table, but I didn't see you, mate. So
to be fair, I had to hunt for him.
Did you have the hunt for him? Did you?
Yeah. When I found him, I molested him.
That's right. It's funny because Dale, at one point we noticed Dale was hiding behind the Tamiya booth. Funny.
Yeah.
He was hiding behind there at one point. Whether it's a hide,
trying.
I don't know. It's probably
You should have taken a picture of him, Moss, and then photoshopped a Tamiya kit in front of him.
Yeah, building it. Yeah.
Useless blackmail.
We met Guy there also on the Airfix site, on the Airfix table. We met Guy, the guy who builds Airfix models. He'd done the Sea Kings and everything. So had a nice chat with him.
The mystery man?
The mystery man. Guy called Guy. So he does it also. I'm on the Isles of Arran waiting for my Outlaw pre-order Friday, Saturday. Ferry broke down. Today's weather too rough to sail, so no post. You guys aren't helping with all this paint chat. Well, you're going to love it, mate. You're going to love it. Celtic West is in the house. He never turned up. That's the wrong one. That's the one I need. He was on holiday in Cornwall, so he didn't come to Scale Model World this year. But, hopefully he'll come next year. But going back to the actual, I thought the turnout from Scale Model Clubs was delightful. There was some incredible models on the tables from local and national model clubs. And that did impress me. And the footfall seems to be a lot more on a Sunday than it was last year. Seeing Ravel there, Edard, who else was there?
Tallery, Tamiya, Dragon.
Yeah, but that was all under the Hobby company, wasn't it? But it was nice. Yeah. What was that boat we saw, Alex, on the Tallery table? It's a huge boat, wasn't it? Like that size.
Torpedo boat, wasn't it? I forgot which one. It was torpedo.
35th scale.
160 quid, wasn't it, or something? But I was more impressed with the plastic because it looked immaculately, what's it called? Injected.
Yeah.
I didn't see any problems with it. It looked, it's a hell of a size as well, isn't it? So
yeah, it was like about almost a meter long. Something like that.
Must have been a meter long. It looked like a prop, didn't it? Like length of a prop.
I know they do Italieri do a 1/35th scale torpedo, but I can't remember which.
It's a new release, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a new release. If anybody knows, is it this 35th scale German Schnellboot or boot or something? Yeah, that sounds about right. Actually, I thought that was quite impressive.
That's the old one. That's been around for a while.
Yeah,
it looks new to me.
No, it's been around for a while now. The Schnellboot in 35th scale.
All right,
this one, it might not have been a Schnell, but it was. I'm sure I'd put money it was a torpedo boat.
They have just released a new. Yeah, they've released a new Schnell boat S26 S38. It's about like 150, 60.
I thought you said 69 quid. 169 quid it was.
Something like that. Yeah.
Really nice looking boats. I mean, really
Italian fighter. They do. Price-wise.
What was I going to say then? Oh yeah, there was a fantastic biplane flying over trenches in judging area that everybody was amazed. Never even got a mention. What do you mean? It never won a prize or anything, didn't it? Because there was a lot of talk actually that the judging was a bit off again this year.
The thing is, there always is. The IPMS judging standards are, I think, one of the banes of the whole thing. You know, it's so non-transparent.
Yeah.
There's no explanations on anything. Everybody's, wondering why one thing is better than another. For me, that was the main detractor of the whole weekend. Was the IPMS judging stuff in the competition?
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you see that thing I put in our group?
Yes,
earlier?
I did.
Yeah. Many categories didn't get awarded
because it wasn't as good as last year. I think that's a crock of shit.
Bullshit. Yeah, it just doesn't matter. It's whatever's good at the time.
So those who didn't win, so those that won after COVID shouldn't have won their prizes because nobody put anything in that year.
Yeah, this is something the IPMS introduced, 15, 20 years ago about categories, because some categories weren't getting, like, some are really obscure, right? So you might only get 3 entries. So then you're guaranteed a medal, right? Gold, silver, or bronze. So they were just like, oh, no, we're not doing that. We don't have to award medals in each category for every single section. And then they started all this bullshit about, well, that's why you only see, like, one category will just have 1 silver and a commended. And it's like, well, who says that that's a silver?
Are you trying to infer that IPMS don't update things after 15, 20 years? What? It's not like they still have a paper magazine and not a digital version for no reason, and still send out physical cards for no reason when we could all have digital membership cards.
Yeah, it's astonishing that such a forward progressive movement isn't in the 21st century, isn't it?
They did send.
I'm sorry, go ahead, Lexi.
I was just going to say they did actually send out digital membership cards to a lot of people who mine renewed end of October. I got my partner membership as well because we're going both days, so it's cheaper. And we did actually get digital membership cards this year, which is good because, one, I hate having a paper one because I will lose that as quick as I can. And 2, because I don't take my purse with me most of the time because I pay on my phone. So having digital ones is good. I hope they do that going forward regardless because it's better. But yeah, IPMS are like literally stuck in a stone age half the time.
I mean, they still have some ridiculous rules as well. So I got. Did you keep your band for both days, Lexi?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, so I didn't. So I just took mine off at the end of Saturday, because I was just like, I'm not taking this thing into the shower, And I got there on the Sunday, showed my thing, got the badge, and it's like, oh yeah, I didn't bring my one from yesterday. It's like, oh, well, theoretically, I should charge you £20. It's like, get the fuck out. It's like, really?
Yeah, it's ridiculous. It's like, you've got a membership. Why would you be charged a ticket price again for it?
It's just, it's astonishing. It's astonishing. You know, they just need to get out of this like 1960s mindset that they still seem to have.
To be fair, you know, the Scale Model Club that I'm with is affiliated with IPMS, but I do wonder, was it really worth it anymore? Is IPMS started to lose its way with everything that's happening in Australia and in the United States? You know, is IPMS really the standard to be set? You know.
So I had a really interesting conversation. You know, Phil, who I introduced you and Sully to, I haven't seen him for almost 20 years physically. I had about a 2.5-hour conversation with him on the Saturday, and we talked about a lot of this. He's always been quite anti IPMS because of a lot of this, because it's existed for as long as he's been modeling. And he was talking about younger modelers, and so I took it upon myself to ask random people under the age of 50, which counts as young modelers, right? What they had bought from the show, what their interests were, and whether they were members of the IPMS. I didn't find one that was an IPMS member or had any inclination to join the IPMS, even though they were modeling traditional military subjects in the main, AFVs and military aircraft, exactly the sort of target demographic of the IPMS. And it's just like, well, they're just not attracting, younger modelers. And it's like, well, why? It's like, well, why would they?
Why
would you join? What's the benefit?
Anywhere. They have no presence. The only reason I join it is because it's cheaper for me to join IPMS than to pay for 2 days entry. That's literally the only benefit I get from it. Yes, you get the magazine. I enjoy reading that. But half the time I don't take it with me because it's not a digital magazine. If it was digital, I could read it on my phone quite easily. But it's not. They do very little to engage with younger demographics. They do very little to engage with content creators as a whole as well, who really are the people who are bringing it to the forefront, particularly younger content creators. There's a really weird disparity between the modeling community as a whole, particularly online, and IPMS. I find it bizarre.
It goes hand in hand with the whole, the hobby's dying, the scale modeling is dying, and it's like, no, it's changing, it's evolving. And if you were judging your entire basis, all of your metrics on the same things that IPMS is, the hobby is dying because you can't transition to the digital world. I mean, look at this group 100%. In and of itself, right? Like,
I mean, it was a long time before the IPMS would accept like Games Workshop models into like a category of the competition. It's just like, guys, this is not this isn't like cars. We're not making like physical one-to-one cars. This isn't a widely popular thing. This is a niche hobby. It's like, you don't need to be like Monty Python, the popular people's front of Judea, the splitters. It's just like, we need to be as united as possible. Miniature painters, Games Workshop people, it doesn't matter what you're modeling. We all need to be in this together. We're small enough as it is. We need to just get rid of all that old-fashioned thing of, we can't talk to them because they do, insert whatever model category here.
Yeah. Well, and I think you hit the nail on the head too with the whole idea that everything, like, the IPMS is so situated in the idea that models have to be a one-to-one or a scale representation where it actually looks the way that it would in real life. And like, my biggest issue with them as an organization is there's no room for any artistic freedom. There's no room for, that model looks really great, they did a lot of awesome stuff, but because it's exaggerated or they've accented this or that, we're going to take points off instead of giving points for artistic and like, I don't know, it's an art style. Like, modeling is an art form, and everybody has their art styles. IPMS is the realism art
that rivet counters.
Well, but even removing that, because there's negative connotations with rivet counters. But if you were to take IPMS and call them the realism movement of art, right? There should be something that reflects the impressionist. There should be something that reflects. There's other art styles, and to call yourself the International Plastic Model Society and then block out all other styles besides realism, doesn't do well once realism stops being in vogue, right? Like, you know, like
I took a whole bunch of photos of I tried to photograph everything in the competition area, and it basically burnt me out. I just had to go back to the hotel because otherwise I didn't want to see another model in my life. Came back to it on the Sunday, photographed a whole bunch more, not everything, but once you actually look at the competition and go through it systematically, you can start to see patterns in what the judges like, and it's not how good the model is. And that, to me, is my problem with it. It's like if there aren't a definitive set of criteria, and it's down to personal preference of the judge, there's an issue.
Yeah, you're not judging how good your model is. You're judging on how good you can guess that the judges think your model is.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
So you're trying to make it appeal to the judges, aren't you? Rather than make a quality
review.
And right, like again, going back to the stylistic bit, how can you get, you know, if they're getting judges that are only doing those same type of things, you're never going to get judges in on the judging that are going to judge more positively for differences. And so everybody's going to be entering the same dang thing. And so all of the models look the same. So how are you going to be able to pick out some that are better than the others if all of them are doing the same thing because they've been conditioned to model in a specific way? Right.
There was at least a glimmer of sunshine in that I'm gonna get the name wrong. The giant 40k Space Marine transport. I want to say Thunderhawk. I don't think that's right.
Yeah,
So
that's it.
whatever it is. Yeah, Thunderhawk. So one of them won. I'm assuming it was in sci-fi and fantasy. I didn't really look at the category, I'm going to be honest. I just sort of looked at everything in the competition area. But that won first place. It was incredibly well done. It was, I'm going to assume Imperial Fist because it was yellow. But that won in its category, which was really nice to see that at least some change has been made, even if the change has been dragged kicking and screaming and is minuscule at best. At least there was some degree of change.
Can I just jump in here for a moment? Because there's been some really good comments made from the chat. Now, Leslie Schramm has said, I went to a judging competition and one class only had one performer. He came second. The judges said if anyone else had entered, they would have been better. Maybe IPMS do the same in their judging. Kind of see that, but yeah.
I think that's a good point. If there were, but I think that comes back to the point, Master, we were making. What are the standards? You know, if there's a particular, in music, there are defined standards, to say that you've got to do X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
That doesn't exist in that competition.
See, the thing is, though, is that the standard may be lower, right? But still the effort and what somebody's done with the model still stands on its own merit alone. I went to a judging, you know, I put a first time ever, I put a scale model into a competition. I didn't win anything, but the three that won all had aftermarket parts, detail resin, everything. Okay. Mine was out of the box build. Now, have I got the disadvantage then because it's out of the box? Or did I try to make the best model I could because I did out of the box? I didn't rely on all the added details that were needed.
Well, there are, I mean, the other side to that, Moss, is that, and the thing I find also slightly bizarre is,
I'm a shit
and it's an
modeler,
impossible task, right? Is that they have different categories, right? So an out of the box, so they'll have like 144 scale and lower, or 172nd scale and lower, out of the box. No, you know, as it comes, 144. You know, so you get hundreds of different. I mean, I don't know how many categories there are in the IPMS show, but it's a lot. And they're trying to judge, and then then they come together, and you get the best insurance stuff. It's like, so you're comparing overall vastly different subjects. But then,
your memory.
At what point do you stop going granular?
I know, I get that. But at what point do they come to, like, because they said that the standard wasn't as the same as last year. So what? Those people have travelled miles to put them in a competition. If the standard is lower,
if I want to compete with the people from 2022, I'll enter in 2022. It should not. It should have no bearing on 2023.
Period.
Yeah.
That's
See
my point.
the one that we were in, Moz.
Yeah.
I mean, Dave, if he's still here, Dave can correct me if I'm wrong, because the conversation we had, just in general about how they judged it, which was probably the year before, I think. They actually they go on I think they go off IPMS's sort of guideline the way they do it.
Yeah.
I think they do it slightly different, because I'm sure they were saying to me that they take into consideration the model manufacturer and knowing how knowing how difficult it is. So, like saying if someone's made, I don't know, like a Tamiya kit of a Spitfire, then someone did one from Revell, and knowing how much effort you've got to put into Revell to make it look good, they may have gone more to the Revell because they know they've actually had to put effort into it to make it look good, rather than it looking good and it's just been built. Not saying that person that's done the Airfix one has done a shit job, but I think there's that consideration as well, and what extra they've had to do to do it, rather than just, do you know what I mean?
Just
Again,
quickly,
I think that's quite not a dangerous thing, because none of it is dangerous, but who gets to decide what model is? But I mean, okay, so Airfix Seeking. So you get some Seekings, the Hasegawa one and the Airfix one, and then what if the judges don't like recessed rivets? Do they look for somebody who's going to put effort into putting the rivets on, even though
I think there is like a degree of like understanding the kit. So if you take like super limited run cottage industry kits, if you take limited run kits, they're always going to be harder than say like an Airfix kit, which, let's assume we're talking about new FX, not old FX, will fit together generally pretty much like a glove, will fall together. Like if you compare someone, say, doing like, I don't know, an FX F35 compared to doing a limited run kit like, I don't know, the CT4 that I did, like they're going to be massive differences in the skill needed to fit them together. Or resin kits, like a resin kit against a plastic kit. No contest, a resin kit is a lot harder to do, but you shouldn't then be penalizing based on, like you're also talking about, like the actual details on the actual model kit. I feel that's excessive, because for some people, being able to rescribe a model, being able to add in additional details is going to be different to them just being able to put together a resin kit. And I feel like, yes, taking into consideration what kit it is important, but it shouldn't be as important as being able to determine the overall result, regardless of whether they've done a basic bitch kit or a really complicated kit.
I kind of almost got the view that, like, you could, if you're judging if it's a modeling competition, surely you're judging the end result.
Yeah.
Right? If somebody wants to enter something that's harder to do, that's a choice they can make beforehand, right?
Yeah.
So nobody judges a piece of art considering the materials. I don't look at the Mona Lisa and say, yeah, well, he was working, of course, with old style pigments. So, considering that's a better painting than, Jackson Pollock, because Jackson Pollock was using modern. That doesn't come into it, right? It's the finished result. It's the art.
Yeah, So that's the point I was sort of half making. To be fair, I was going to say it was just the kit, but I think that is the part factor. It is what I meant to say. Sorry.
I just want to jump on because Black Rifle, his models are
that's fantastic,
outstanding. So he said, I want to just say some of his comments because he's writing some really good stuff here. To be fair, we were approached by several of the IPMS officials who were keen to engage with us to understand how our club works as completely virtual, and they are keen for the IPMS to explore. Fair enough. Their online presence and more youth-focused genres. Fair enough, I get that. Just scrolling down a little bit more, he says, also, to be fair, the best in show was a scratch-built sci-fi, and I won gold last year with a Warhammer model and a silver this year with a Rubicon Wargaming model. Progress, albeit slow. I understand that, but and also after that, Fartycock said, that said, the amount of aircraft comp entries with zero weathering was remarkable.
Just to talk on the zero progress, If only we'd been through some sort of, I don't know, global event or pandemic that had forced everyone to be online and couldn't do in-person events. If only we'd been through something like that to force them to
A way that
evolve.
like got
that would
people
never
into
happen,
the hobby
Lexi.
and
No.
got more people more experience. And
Obviously, I'm just spitballing here because something like that would never happen, and we'd
No,
never
that's-
all be
that's
forced to
science
work
fiction.
remotely and socialize remotely. That would never happen, right?
Yeah.
IPMS is like way too late on this. They need to like up their game. I don't mind paying for IPMS. As I say, I get the benefit of going to the show for 2 days. Even if I go once, I tend to still buy membership. I get earlier access and it's quicker. Fine. But and I say I do like the magazines, even if I forget to take them with me half the bloody time. It would be great on the tram, but never mind.
Yeah.
But they could do so much more, and it's not things that would cost them more. Sending out like a magazine digitally compared to printing it, the overheads, like it makes sense to send it digitally. Like I don't care whether I get it in print or in digital. It's not hard to get people's preferences for that. And updating their competition rules to be more in line with what's happening these days, it just makes sense. They need to have like not just younger voices, but also just voices that are more progressive for IPMS as a whole. It needs to evolve. They are the authority on like model making, and so they need to like represent that rather than being stuck in the Stone Age.
I was going to say earlier was about like the membership and stuff. I know people that are a lot older, and they literally only buy their membership just for the 2 days at Telford. They're not asked about anything else. It just means that they've got the option of 2 days at Telford.
Well, I mean, that's why we bought. I mean, I was exactly the same as Lexi.
Do you know what I
bought
mean?
mine at the end of October, about 4 days before the the cut-off, so that I could get in for both days and an hour earlier. I mean, it would be great if the IPMS reaches out to me in some way, digitally or whatever. But I've been in the IPMS before for exactly the same reasons, right? And that hasn't happened.
It does make you wonder who is in the IPMS for general sake of being in an IPMS, or is it just for the model show? So there's that to consider. But I just want to go on and say that the Thunderhawk was one of our guys, 3D printed, and he won gold. So it was a 3D. It wasn't scratch built. It was 3D printed. So fair play on that one. Absolutely fair play. Just going to have some really good comments here. Flying Dutchman says out of the box should be a category, and there isn't a category for out of the box. There you go. Out of the box is a category in IPMS USA, I think. So that's fair enough.
It is a category. It is a category.
Yeah.
In IPMS.
There isn't an out of the box category in the UK IPMS though.
Yeah, there is.
Is there? I didn't see one.
Yeah, there's several actually, depending on scale and subject.
Right. Okay. Judge according to IPMS rules. Who has the rules? As far as I know, it's technical build quality, not the subject or kit manufacturer that plays a role.
I mean, if you want a really fun afternoon, you can read some of their rules. It's really exciting and definitely isn't bad material.
Yeah, they definitely have the rules listed, and they are supposed to take into consideration whether or not the kit manufacturer that is being used is harder to build to higher quality or not. That is supposed to be, on paper, technically one of the judging bases that they use. That is in the rules there.
I do want to point out, like, as much as I'm slamming IPMS, it's not because I hate them. Like, I'm a member. I want them to be better is why I'm so passionate about it. Like, obviously, like, I'm one of the non-traditional demographics of model making. I'm like a queer woman. Like, I'm not what like model making was like 50 years ago, and I want model making to become the best it can be and appeal to everyone and like be accessible to everyone, and it's just not at the moment. I really want IPMS to do better. Although one thing I will say is like the cute little badges we got for the 60 years thing for IPMS, they were lovely.
Yeah, they were cool. Yeah,
I didn't get one of them.
You had to go get it. Like when you went in the entrance, there was like a stand at the left. It wasn't really well done. I missed it entirely on the Saturday. I think it might be you, Alex, who said about it. I can't remember. Someone said to me,
Didn't fucking tell me.
and then I went and got it on the Sunday.
Yours isn't special.
Preferential treatment.
Me and my friend both have one. We're going to wear them and look like the nerds that we are.
Lexi looked more fabulous than you, Moss. That's what it was.
That's right. Yeah, I need to get one of those low-cut tops. I think judging should be done on public vote. That wouldn't work, really. Don't think that would work. Wouldn't work. You can, imagine you're in a really big scale model club, and you ask them all to vote for you. The idea of judges is judging. So,
I mean, debatably, that does happen
you're fine.
already. There are people who do praise the judges.
Yeah, somebody did mention that one of the judges gave go to a member of his own model club.
There's a lot of I've heard a lot of it over the weekend. A lot of people saying
nepotism in the IPMS. No.
The only modeling competition I've ever entered was a local one, and I won gold for sci-fi and with some Gundam diorama I did. And I remember that there was a bunch of people that were pissed off because the guy who was judging was part of IPMS, and other guys that entered were part of IPMS, and he chose me partially because I had never entered anything in the area, kind of new modeler, but I wasn't part of the in crowd, and in my opinion, I was on par, if not better than them. But I did not, I wasn't part of IPMS, and they were pissed off that I was chosen to have won for something that was not IPMS related because I was not part of IPMS. And it was like.
So you're
welcome into the community, Fenris.
Yeah, I want to join y'all now. What?
We'll get down that route
I think
anyway.
it's quite telling that there's a couple of guys from different model clubs who have been into the shop. Really nice guys. Chatted to them. They bought stuff, and I've bumped into them at both Yeovil and the IPMS Nationals. And both of them said, you should come up to the club one night. Bring some of your stuff for the shop. Kind of use it as an advertising thing. But both of them were saying, don't worry, we're not one of those IPMS typical clubs. The IPMS thing is really just an affiliation. For them to have to, without prompting, say that, don't worry, we're not like the IPMS. We're just, it's just an affiliation and we get a free club. We do. It's like, that is telling, right?
Yep.
That an IPMS club stresses that it's not really IPMS. That shows you that there's a big kind of hang up with the image of the IPMS, and to shake that image, it really needs to radically change and shake up the leadership of it, because the leadership of it is generally the kind of old guard that don't want to see that change, I guess, or at least are resistant to it.
Bring AI judges. Terminator models will always win. Celtic West is saying. I would like to know, somebody did put in a block of wood and pretend it was a resin kit and then say, judge me on that. They can't touch the kit. They can't touch the models, can they?
Judgment Day.
The box entries have to be displayed with the instruction sheets. That would be interesting, wouldn't it? Yeah, no additional parts allowed. That's good. Because I don't, photo etch for me doesn't do it. I'll tell you what I would like.
I hate photo etch for the
is for resin parts to be included instead of photo etch, but that's a different story. There is an out of the box category.
Please.
Also, when you submit your entries on any category, you can specify SK, which means standard kit, i.e. out of the box. Fair enough.
Oh.
TAMS in VA Beach has out of the box award for each category. Occasionally, out of the box entry takes the first, second, or third award as well. They are not IPMS. What do you get for IPMS? Is it also forums, etc., or is it just the mags and the events? Just the magazine and the events?
They couldn't even tell me themselves. I asked them
you get a badge if you turn up on the day and ask for one.
To be fair, you do also get support. So if you want to run your own model show or event as like an IPMS club, you do get a degree of support from IPMS in terms of promotion and also for sort of admin stuff if you don't really know what you're doing. Because I was like deputy chairman of a club for a bit before some drama happened because model making drama. But yeah, I've seen some of the the admin support that they can give you, which is really good, and that stuff needs to happen because it really helps shows thrive and survive. No, sorry, thrive rather than survive. But yeah, there's not a lot elsewise. A lot of SIGs do have their own like forums and stuff, which is awesome. I guess a lot probably have migrated to Discord now. I'm purposely not really part of any because I don't want to go to shows a lot. But yeah, like that there is some support that they do give that is fantastic, and I will like literally sit there and praise IPMS for it. It's just some of the other aspects are not super.
And there are individuals within the IPMS. I mean, I joined a couple of SIGs years ago when I first joined the IPMS. There's some really nice people in there. You know, if you're interested in a specific subject, some of the SIGs can get a bit, well, let's call them rivet countery because we know what that means. And it kind of creates this insulated bubble, which is a bit weird. And again, it's that kind of getting into smaller and smaller niches, right? Rather than expanding and like welcoming more change and difference, it's kind of getting into a narrow end of the funnel. So to be there for information, I think is great, but they kind of feel a bit closed off sometimes. I think.
Can I get
goes into oh god bit?
Can I say one positive thing that happened at the show though? So
quickly, I want to just say that Black Rifle Model Works said, I echo Lexi, we all want IPMS to evolve and be better. A lot of it is down to clubs being progressive and evolving their methods. That's what we are trying to do. Yes, that's why I'm pushing outdoor paints. I think, you know, we've been so bereft by crap paint over the years. It's time for us to stand up and, you know, and use other things as well. You know, it's not all about, you know, everything that we see. But yeah, go on. What's your positive thought before I move on?
So every year I go to Telford. For the last couple of years, I went a couple of years pre-COVID, but this year it was the first time I went with my partner, who is male, in case anyone doesn't know, because this is important. And I jokingly said on the drive down, I was like, I wonder how many people are going to assume that you're the model maker because you're male, because every single year I've gone, people have gone, oh, is this for your boyfriend? And I'm just like, no, I'm the one camera, I'm taking the pictures and the video, it's for me. And this year I only had one instance of someone going, oh, so what are you into? And he was just like, well, it's not really me, it's her, the one literally like photographing and videoing everything. But I wanted to highlight that as like a positive thing, because actually I had way less of, oh, you're a woman, you don't do it, it's the man who does it. So that was a really positive change, I thought, for this year. I know it's like a minority thing. Women are still like the minority in model making, sadly. But I thought it was really nice that, like, for once, I wasn't questioned about if I actually modelled.
Yeah.
Just scrolling down. What was it? Someone said, oh yeah, they'll send. You will get a pin badge if you didn't attend. They will send you one. Apparently, I'll have to look into it. Okay, somebody. Maybe we can get one of the big wigs of IPMS to come on Airfix and Chill. I would gladly have anyone on who wants to talk about IPMS. You are welcome on. We're not. Personally, I'm not. I love IPMS. Listen, I got the magazine. I go to, and I would pay to go to Scale Model World, even if I was an IPMS. I think you have to be an IPMS member to be in their competitions as well. You have to be a member, I guess. Is that true?
I think so, and also obviously you have to get that earlier, and also to present as a like model stand as well. You need to be one of the IPMS clubs.
Right.
Okay. Do you have room though, Moss, to get an IPMS guy in with you for the show? Because they wouldn't be able to do it digitally.
No, they wouldn't. They're frightened of it.
Well, I've got a spare MacBook. They can go in the other room.
Aye.
They have to sit with the dog, like before the fire, like, you know.
That was low hanging fruit. I apologise.
I do. I get that. I get that.
Can I just quickly ask something? We were talking about out of the box entries. You know, when you say, for instance, the Revell Fokker triplane in 70-second scale. in that kit, it shows you how to rig the kit, and the rigging on it is very minor. But the parts aren't in the box. So would they penalise you for rigging it or not?
I don't think it would be classed as out of the box because you've added additional parts. Out of the box generally would just mean any parts that are included in the
So,
box.
but the instructions are telling you to do it.
Is this the melt? Because I know some were really old melted sprue. Is it that method?
Yeah.
Well,
because they do that. They show you how to, make the rigging out of the sprue.
But if it's not in the box, surely that's additional parts.
Because I think
somebody was saying that like PE, if PE is included in the box and like they had any instructions how to use the PE in the box, that's still not counted as out of box.
But with the Revel kit, they explain how to rig it using twine, but it's not in the box.
Right. But if PE that is included and instructions that are included doesn't count, I would assume that then also wouldn't.
Yeah, you can't. If you have PE in the box, you can't use it on out of the box. Because that was the thing. Like in theory, I understand what they're saying. Is that a lot? If you notice, a lot of kits, the PE is the extra. If you don't use PE, it doesn't matter. You still use the plastic in the box.
Yeah.
The idea is that it gives you a second option.
But Lexi had a point because theoretically, if you use expanded sprue to rig your kit, the plastic was already in the box.
Exactly. Yeah.
I think though, because it wasn't a part, like it has to be a part, like number 42 or whatever.
Yeah.
Because you created it, I think it doesn't count.
I know
Games Workshop. That's what I was wondering.
Games Workshop have had the same discussion when they're doing sort of whether you're converting a model or not, and how to what nth degree essentially is it out of the box or is it you're actually converting the model by deviating from how it would be presented without putting the additional work in, even if it's stuff that's included in the original box. I don't know the actual answer, but I'd be really curious to know what IPMS's position is on.
It would be interesting to find out what they because
Absolutely.
At the end of the day, like in cricket, they use the word unnatural. So you can use anything natural, right, to keep the ball shiny on one side and rough the other, and that includes the grease from your hair. You can use that. You can use spit.
Yeah.
But you can't use anything unnatural. Right? You can't use polish. You can't use soil to make one end rough. It's got to be a natural thing. So if that was the answer, you'd say anything out of the box means anything that be naturally found in the box. So in instance, if you needed to and you wanted to make seat belts for it, I wouldn't be surprised you could cut the decal sheet and then paint that decal sheet to make seat belts.
I wonder if it would be the technicality that they've supplied you it and it's in the actual out of the box instructions to do it. But then, like Fenris has said, photo etch is often included and still not considered part of the out of the box experience.
Yeah.
I think with photo etch there is two sides to it. That with some manufacturers they'll release a photo etch version and a non-photo etch version. Sometimes at different price points. Sometimes it's just due to limited releases. That can mean that some people will get it, some people won't. And it is a different skill set as well. I guess melting sprue is less of a different skill set, but I would be really curious what the answer is.
It's just
it's a really interesting
to
technicality.
It's interesting to me that without the box judging, they want you to include the instruction leaflet from the kit.
Yeah.
So if the instruction leaflet is telling you to rig it, surely if you rig it, it should be all right.
You'll only find out on the day is that when you put it in the category, you can go up to the judges and say, look, out of the box, it comes with rigging. But then see the thing that if it's rigging and you've got thread in the box, it's a difficult one. It's natural would mean anything that's in the box would be plastic. Natural substance would be plastic.
I think Nigel went through this. He had when he was building the Spitfire, the 124 Spitfire, and he was looking at. He wanted to do his first build out of the box, and he went through it and he looked at it, and he could use sort of like brass for pinning things, and it was still technically out of the box.
Yeah, because there's some kits that give you brass undercarriage oleos
Yeah.
because they know damn well the plastic ones just aren't man enough. So that's
Well, it's up to the judge, right? Whoever's judging that day. Because, I mean, that's the answer I feel like a lot of questions of the similar vein is given.
The podcasts have been talking a lot about nepotism in judging. IPMS seems like being a member of the Masons these days.
Yeah, I'll just say something here. Yeah, I had to do a funny handshake to get in here.
Did you?
You just flipped us the bird and you're allowed in. I wouldn't say it was a funny handshake.
Yeah.
So it's as I said, we can talk about the judging for hours in a day, but it's listen, when you win, the judges are your friend. If you don't win fuck all, you hate the judges. Right. So they're in a category of their own, isn't it? It's a policeman. You love them when they turn up and they arrest the guy, but you hate them when they arrest you for speeding. So you can't win being a judge, I guess. So
I think though the competition has actually, I think that's one of the problems with the IPMS and the reputation it's got, because I think like the NNLs that's been mentioned in the comments quite a bit. They talked about it just being like it's not really serious competition, it's for fun. That's the point, right? That's why we all do models, because we enjoy doing it. It's fun. The best bits for me, my highlights from Telford were meeting you guys, were meeting people that have watched the channel, that have listened to the podcast, that have been into the shop, that I've met at shows that I haven't seen for a long time, that I used to be clubs with. That was the best bit. The next bit was seeing the creations that people have done, and talking to other traders, actually.
But that's what I was going to just say, Alex. Some of the best builds I saw are actually on the tables, not in the judging area.
Yeah.
They don't want to be judged. They don't want to be judged. No. I would.
To me, the competition is a different thing, but I think for a lot of IPMS members, it is the kind of more of the central. They'll start working on the IPMS 2024 competition entry now, and that is what drives them. I think the competition is kind of a separate thing to why most modelers go to the show.
So the stuff I put in competition last at the West Mids, they were just models I built, and I thought, yeah, sod it, I'm going to put that in. I just did it. Again, for me, that was just as much fun. I just was interested to see where it places, if it places at all. And I was the one I was debating because I thought, I've done a right job on, but I thought, no, sorry, I'm going to put it in anyway.
Fair enough.
I can't. I'm not going to stress myself out about making a model.
We've had a lot of I guess constructive chat. But what I'm really curious about is what is everyone's favourite thing they saw at Telford this year?
You. What was your most?
No reaction to that then. Fine, fucking hell.
To be fair, it was exciting seeing everyone. As I said, there was a pair of twins with glasses on. Yeah, they came up, and they come over from Australia.
That's right.
And they watch Airfix and Chill and my videos week in, week out, and they love it. And they would, just meeting the people. There was one thing that did catch my eye was the presence of the other retailers and stuff. Got going on there, but other than that, nothing really excited me. So for me, it's to meet up with other modelers and talk, and talk about modelling. So, but yeah, what about you, Lexi? What was the best thing you saw there?
I think I echo you a lot. So, I found obviously so Saturday for me was a work day, so to speak, going around filming literally every single club, making sure I got everyone covered. And it was amazing, just like how many people just like came and was like, "Oh hi," and I was just like socially awkward me. I'm like, "Hi, I don't know how to react to this." And then turning to my partner, was like, "Was I rude? Was I okay? I don't know. I don't know how to deal with social interactions." And that was amazing. I think the overall sense of the modelling community was really strong at Telford. I think it's definitely bounced back from COVID, whereas sort of last year was recovering, whereas this year it felt much more like a real sense of community there, particularly going around and speaking to so many of the stands. For me personally, obviously, as you mentioned at the start of the stream, obviously I've been out of modelling for a little bit, and it was amazing how many people were like, "Oh, I've missed you coming to shows, I miss seeing you," and that was really genuinely heartwarming and has had an effect on me personally, and I think that's really powerful and one of the most powerful things about model making. As we mentioned, with places like Models for Heroes, with a massive focus on mental health. And I think for a lot of model makers, that's a really positive impact as a whole. And I know that had a really powerful impact on me this weekend. Other than that, I have to shout out to SIG144, which are my favourite SIG every time I go. Not that I'm biased at all. But I love their display. It's just an amazing array of different model kits in much smaller scale than my little nails will allow me to do. But yeah, I love that display. It's just so vibrant, and there were a lot more displays now that focused on non-military aspects as well, which I thought was really, really cool.
Excellent. I enjoy it to meet people, and that's what it's all about, is meeting people. So I thought I missed you because I was told that you were gone, and I was like,
yeah, I thought she'd gone, to be fair. That was my fault. That was.
I literally
the impression I got, I thought she was going to go, "Oh, fuck this, I'm going there."
Yeah.
And then I turn up and you're all together. So.
I messaged you on Discord, and we literally, when you like whistled over to us and were like to say you were there, we were literally on our way out. So it was so good that you said hi, because
I didn't look at Discord or anything that day. I was being contacted by Jason of Outlaw Paint, so you can have a look at James's store, but I didn't see it because it was on silent. And you know, and I said this to the West Midlands police guys that when I went up there for this, I didn't want to film. You know, I do the Oval, and I'm doing Bugle Call this year to film their model show, but you don't understand how in depth you go having to film every single table.
It's a lot,
and it's a lot of hard work. And I just enjoy sitting back and just seeing people and just mullering myself around, like, you know, and just, you know, that's it. But
it's why I did 2 days, because I knew the Saturday would be a whole day filming, because last year I did 1 day, and I was filming from like 9 a.m. until 4:30 to get every single table, because my ethos is, if I'm going to do Scale Model World, even if it's like, I don't know, like cars, I'm not into cars, but I still want to include them, because I want to be like, hey, this is a part of scale model making. If you like cars, this is for you, even if I know fuck all about it.
Yeah.
So I wanted to do 2 days. It's just a shame the hotel was so bad that I couldn't do 2 full days, because I would have loved to do so.
So I'm just dropping this in quickly. Paul Price has sent me an email. These are all the kits he's built with Outlaw Paint. So there's the Spitfire Mark 9.
Oh yeah, he's the best job on that. That's probably my favorite build of all of them that I've seen. It just looks mint.
It like actually looks painted in real life, right? Rather than just like a model kit painted. It looks sick.
And this is all Outlaw Paint, apparently. So well done, Paul. Was this on the display at the time? Was it, or? Sorry, I'm sorry. I'm jumping my words here a minute. So I'm looking at the chat. So has he posted this up elsewhere? These pictures.
He has, yeah.
Where to?
On Ice Queen Models Facebook page, I think.
Yeah.
On various other ones he's members of.
There you go. So if you are a scale modeler, look at that. That's fantastic. That green from Outlaw. Look at that pearlescent. Look at that. I bet it's got 2K on it as well, doesn't it?
Oh, that looks so cool.
No, that's nice. That Apache. This is all Outlaw Paints, so
I love that.
That's pretty smart.
Oh, that looks so nice. Like the gleam on it from the sun is so cool.
He takes great pictures. Like this
Composition of his pictures is very good.
I wish I could take pictures like that. They look so good.
Me too.
Look at that.
Oh my
That's
God.
That is
fantastic.
sick.
And this is all Outlaw paints as well.
I do love the AMT decal on that
Yeah.
one.
Yeah, it looks so nice.
Good.
Just like sneakily put in there.
So there you are, just quickly.
Yeah.
Scale model for me, Telford for me, another great weekend of pure scale model porn. You know, and like I said, some of the best models I saw are on the club tables, not necessarily in the competition bit. Fortunately, I was only there for 5 hours maximum. I left about 2 o'clock. Last time I saw Alex was by the sprue box gate, and I said I've got to go now, so I'll be back to do a gig. So, but to be fair, on these scale models shows, if you ever go to any, let me know where you're going. I'm gonna try and do the one in Edinburgh, and there's one really like near Aberdeen way. There's a scale model show which I'm going to attend next year in April. So I'm going to that one. I'm going to try and get to as many as I can next year. So what I'll do is I'll post it on the Scale Model Club or on my personal Moz 6510 Models page on Facebook.
Moz on tour.
Moz on tour, and I'm going to go and try and visit as many Scale Model shows as I can. You know, as I said, it all depends. But what type of paint? That is Outlaw paints available from dealers in Sprue Box and Alex at Man's Model Moments shop as well. So yeah, that's the plan for next year, to go and have a look at all these. But I think Telford again, no matter your thoughts on it, if you don't go, you will miss out, definitely. Wayne Welly, will you divert to South Wales? Is there a scale model show in South Wales, Wayne Welly? Tell me the date and I'll book it in my diary.
I needed to do this as well. I literally mentioned this in my video that I've got coming out tomorrow, that I need to go to one in like Wales, because so many of the Welsh clubs only go to like a couple, like around the borders, and I really want to go to one of the Welsh model shows. So yeah, I'm really curious to see when they are as well. I'm assuming there's one in Cardiff maybe, but I'd love to go to one.
If there's a scale model show in Wales, let us know. We will be there. Me and Lexi will go. Alex will probably tag along with me.
Yeah.
John Alec will get a plane across. Fenris will start swimming now.
I'm out of Florida. We have to swim half the time just to get to public, so you know.
Yeah, I mean, South Wales, that's where the SAS and SBS train. So I don't know if I want a vacation.
Wayne, are you going to Bugle? If you're in South Wales then, Wayne, will you be going to Bugle Call in Nailsea? If you want to go to one, Nailsea's not that far from you, was it? Hour and a half drive from Nailsea to...
Where's that?
I like sunshine.
Nailsea's near Bristol. It's the Bugle Call on the 24th of November. It's a Sunday. I'll be going to that event, so if you want to come and visit me and say hi and shake my hand and grab a few stickers, which are bigger than Sully stickers, you're quite welcome to get one off me. But not as big as Alex's. Alex's.
I'll tell you what.
Alex
Do you know
is
what,
like
that cracked me
up.
That cracked me up, that did. I mean, to be fair play, I would have done exactly the same if I was Alex. It's me, look, here's one of my piddly little stickers. And then Alex pulls out two different size stickers, a patch and a fucking...
When he
a bloody plate size, did a plate size bloody window decal.
When he gave me one, I put me sandwich on it.
Yeah,
it's like a roundel. It's
I
like
got
a roundel for 1 to 2 scale Spitfire.
I got stickers of all of you, and like when I actually get my setup here, I'm totally putting the stickers down there because, yeah, like they look so cool. It makes me envious because I need to get some stickers sorted.
Sticker envy.
Yeah.
Can I just say the company that I use? Alex, do you use the same company I use, or you use a different one?
I use one called Imprint.
I use Imprint. Do you? I thought they. Yeah. I use a different. I just think the matte finish they do for mine is just incredible. I use them all the time now. So, but none of those stickers just says. None of them are as big as the Airfix badge on the Airfix staff polo tops. Yeah,
To be fair, I couldn't help but stare at Dale's chest for the majority of that conversation because they were just so bloody big.
They are
Yeah.
big, aren't they? Yeah.
Is that the only reason, Sully, or have you got something to
Well,
reveal?
I mean,
Yeah.
to be fair, I mean, Daily's a saucy dish. You know what I mean? I mean, it's a bit hard not to.
Is that why you were flying low for so much of the?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
didn't realise that. Fucking, I've been there all morning. I just bent down to have a look at something. I don't know what I'd done. Then realised, oh shit, I'm flying half mast here. Perhaps it was Dale. Perhaps he did it without me noticing.
Just trying
So
to
when
get
you put your
uh,
finger through and said
Airfix.
penny for a field, it worried me. Darth Muzza. Hello from Newcastle, Australia. Welcome to Airfix and Chill. I have heard Outlaw paints are quite good. Are they lacquer or acrylic? They are both. They're lacquer acrylic paints. The difference is that they are liquid pigments in their selected premium lacquer. So when you shake them, I've got this is the big bottle here. So when you shake them, they mix really well because it's not powder in them at all. When you see a white dust, I've been told this by an independent paint guy. Okay, if you see white in paint, that's talcum powder that's used to help bind. This is what I was told. So from an independent paint guy who knows about paint, if you see a whiteness in their paint, that's because it's talcum powder that's used to help it bond. But because this is liquid pigment, not powder pigment, in the lacquer, it mixes really, really well. So, there's a show in Barry Island. Barry Island. There's a show in Barry Island. Wow. Is it in January? Is it? What show is in January? I don't know. But the November is Bugle Call, and that's the last of the model shows, I think, for down my area, down in the south and the southwest of God's, King Country, So Barry Badder, Barry Bados. Yeah, but no. So yeah, so if there's a Scale Scale Model show, just let me know, and I'll try and visit it in the year. Newcastle's a bit out of my range this year. I was going to do that next year, more things next year. So,
See, I'm glad my boyfriend is model making because then I can be like, babe, do you fancy a weekend away? Just to go, yeah, we'll have to go to a model show on the Sunday.
Yeah. Well, it looks like Euro scale modeling is in Houghton, NLD. I don't know where that is. Houghton, NLD, Netherlands.
Netherlands, yeah. I was meant to go to it this year. But I actually have the time booked off for it, but finances of moving house.
So maybe the Netherlands, November 25th. That's I can't do 25th. That's Bugle Call. Get the Euros. Get the train over through the Eurotunnel. What did Celtic West say? Somebody said the Celtic West showing Cardiff in January apparently. So that's all right. Then we'll be able to go to that one.
Cardiff in January. That's going to be a bit wet.
Oh yeah. Anyway, so positives from Telford. It's a good model show. Negatives: don't put your model in the competition.
Overall, an amazing show. 3 halls of modeling, beauty, and goodness. Amazing people, amazing show, amazing traders, fabulous show.
Yeah. And I was gonna say, let it be said, as much as we have our criticisms on the judging, does not mean we don't enjoy going and watching the judging at all. Speaking as somebody who's not actually been to an IPMS event,
it's
everything is always amazing. It really
it's one of those things where when you're part of it, like your hometown, when you're from your hometown, you sit there and slag it off all the time because you're like, oh, it's shit. But actually, there are lots of positives, and IPMS Telford Scale Model World is an amazing event every single year. It always goes relatively smoothly, and it's a beautiful collaboration of model makers from across the world. It's so lovely seeing international model makers there as well. That's why in my videos I always do international people first, because I'm like, well, they've traveled the most, they deserve the recognition, and it's just amazing. And I love Scale Model World for all its flaws. I love it.
I think the one thing that you have to praise the IPMS for Scale Model World above all else is it is such a well-organized event. I mean, I think it's something like 40,000 people visit the show over the course of the weekend. I've done big shows with work before in Excel, in the NEC in Birmingham stuff. Going there and having those organizations is an absolute bloody nightmare. And the IPMS actually do it really, really well with the people at the Telford International Centre. So that side of it shouldn't be played down. They're really, really good at that side of things.
Yeah, like the entry to it is so smooth. Like, yes, you queue, but like it's so smooth. You get through so quickly. Like the organization of it is fantastic. Everything goes off without a hitch. Like I cannot praise IPMS enough for how well organized the event is. I absolutely love it for that reason as well.
I was going to do an auction tonight, but it's gone 10 o'clock. I promise you, I have 6 Spitfires here that I went up into the attic to get down for you guys. I am really, really sorry.
What? It's not like we're all going to disappear.
I was gonna
It's
say,
10 o'clock,
if
lad. We normally have,
only-
we don't have a chat, but yeah. Next week, 15 minutes
Right.
of auction. I'm really sorry. It's my fault.
Does that mean I
There
have
was
to
so
go
much
back
to
next
say
week?
about Telford,
giving you a
and
hard
we
time.
overtook it. Telford
I'm
overtook
so
the
pissed off.
auction.
I didn't realize the tonight's chat has gone so bloody quick.
It really
It's
has.
because I'm
really
here,
has.
let's be honest.
Yeah, it's Lexi's fault, definitely. Lexi's fault. I didn't lie about the auction. I've got them here. I really have got them here. I've got.
He's just doing it to get people in the show.
Next
Yeah, there'll
week.
be an auction. Come and join.
We can do it off stream.
Then you either fibbed or what do they call that? A bait click.
Clickbait.
Clickbait.
He did promise.
He's like he's like that really hot guy at the club. He's just tormenting you with how they
By the
like
way,
what he's doing.
just in case, I finally bought the Rockwell B1B, right?
I bought
you
that
read-
years ago.
If you read my latest Substack, I was bereft at the cost that people wanted £100 for this kit. Dealers, second hand. I got it for 50.
The hilarious thing is I saw that on the Saturday and was like, oh, I had that before. Should I buy it again? I was like, nah. And then you bought it. Makes me happy.
Oh.
I need to order that so badly.
Didn't you pick one up from Airfix?
No.
I'll speak to you afterwards about why I didn't buy one at the show. There's a reason why I haven't.
Also, folks, one I did promise. I got in contact. Well, I was at the Dulux Materials booth. I met the owner. He's asked me if I would do reviews on his products on my channel. I'm not going to lie. I've used Dulux Materials for years. You know that I use their Perfect Plastic Putty. I use their glosses. I've got all sorts of them equipment here. Bits and pieces. Trying to find some more of it now. The thing I recommend to anyone is Brush Magic. There's a tutorial on how to use Brush Magic to clean your hairy sticks on my channel. If you can get it, buy it. Do not leave it in your airbrush for more than 15 minutes. I bought an airbrush that was 20 years old, caked in paint. I used this stuff and I got my airbrush working again in about 20 minutes.
They do glue and glaze as well, right?
Glue and glaze is another one.
Yeah.
I love glue and glaze. I lost some clear parts on my Lancaster that I built for the Dam Busters anniversary thing, and I used it to fill the clear parts that I lost in the Carpet Monster, and it's so good. I love glue and glaze with a passion. Dulux is amazing.
They do a precision plastic glue. Now the beauty, I like my Humbro poly cement. This stuff is just like this stuff. Now, the reason I don't like the contact though is because the bottle is a pain in the ass to use. I like the precision poly brush, the poly cement, because the brush the bottle is a nice feel in the hand. So when you pick it up, doesn't matter how you pick it up, twist, push, done, easy. Now this one here, the precision plastic glue that they do, it comes with its needle that's hidden away behind the sticker. So behind the sticker there is the needle that you cut the end off, put the needle on, and they've designed this. He's telling me about it. They designed it so it fits flat on there. So you got to do is pick it up, twist, and you're done. So it's quite a nice feel to it. But because of the width of it, you can send that Royal Mail large letter for £1.10p or £1.20p.
Oh my god, that's so clever.
This one, the minimum you can is £2.99 because it won't go through large letter.
Oh, right.
Does that mean it goes through your letterbox as well?
Yeah.
Pardon?
Does that mean it goes through your letterbox as well?
You can send it large letter for £1.20. They designed the bottle for the suppliers, so you don't have to be charged like £3. Well, Royal Mail's cheapest now is £2.99. If you VAT, it's £2.60. So if you do this one, if you're a supplier, but they reckon this one here, their other one, which is the Plastic Magic 10 second. I'm going to do reviews on these anyway. This is the only glue that's allowed in Hong Kong, in China, because it's low odor. Tammy is banned because of the odor, but this one, they sell tons of it to China now because it's low odor. It's not exactly the same, and they give you a 10-second cement time. So when you go around your fuselage with your brush, when you go around it, it gives you 10 seconds, and so it won't dry on the fuselage. Then when you put it together, you hold it. You've got 10 seconds of adjustment time before it starts to set.
It's like the old contact adhesive then.
Yeah.
Is it a brush applicator as well then?
Yeah, they give you two applications. You got this thin brush, which I just wish this brush was on this actually, because I think I would use a smaller brush and the bigger brush any day of the week.
But at least you have the option.
You got the option.
Yeah, the bigger brush is not very precise. It's not as good as the Tamiya one.
Pardon?
The big brush is not as good as the Tamiya
really
one.
good about deluxe materials, Moss?
What's that?
Shortly stocked at Man's Model Moment.
So you finally got it. See again, mate, I should be partner in this shop. I've given you so many contacts.
But give me £5 Moss, you can be.
And the other one I'm going to try is this one called Looks Like Glass.
I've struggled with that.
Yeah, that looks
this one here, have you? It's not as good as the Humbro gloss then.
I've never tried it, but I've tried it a couple of times, but I haven't.
You bought this product, have you?
Yeah.
Oh, is it a gloss then?
Okay, well I'm going to have a little go on it.
Somebody put in the chat, Moss, about liquid gravity, which is a product. I absolutely love the idea of liquid gravity. Yeah, there we go. So it's tiny, tiny little heavy metal balls. So it flows like a liquid. So if you've got a tail sitter, if you've got a tail sitter and you've forgotten to put weight in or enough weight in, you can make a little hole in the undercarriage bay and pour this stuff in, and then obviously put some liquid cyanoacrylate in and fix it. It's absolutely amazing stuff.
I so need that because the amount
I will say this though, with liquid gravity, there's an art to using it.
Yeah.
If you drill a hole in the top, make sure it's big enough to put glue down first, like some sort of super glue, because there's nothing worse than it rattling when you move it. Because it's got to be right. I know what it is. It's like you see something being sandblasted. They call it a shot blaster, don't they? Yeah. It's shot from a shot blaster, but it's been highly refined, so it doesn't leave a rusty. It's not rusty. It's quite a clean material. It's not powdery. But yeah, it's good stuff. The other stuff I've got to test, which I've done with it now, is this new stuff called Strip Magic, which apparently strips off paint in particular areas that you need to. So You just put it on. It doesn't attack the plastic. You put
Oh
it
my
on,
God.
and within about 15 minutes, you can get the paint will come off, and you can start again.
So we don't have to use Dettol anymore.
I would still recommend Dettol if you're doing a complete model because this stuff is fucking dear. That's
Yeah,
£10.75 a bottle, but
if it's
Dettol,
good for a specific area,
yeah,
that
for a
is
specific
good
area.
because the amount of times I've like overspilled, particularly when you're new to something or you're new to a new paint or a new medium, that would be so helpful. I would really love to have some of that on my desk. I might need to get some.
Well, the airbrush cleaner is called Brush Magic. If you go to my channel,
I've used that. It's so good.
it's amazing.
Yeah.
So I've done a little demonstration of how to clean your hairy stick. So if you look out, clean your airbrush, look under my channel and clean your hairy stick. As it says, and this is brilliant because, as I said, I can't show you it because mine's now
It's
dirty.
easier to clean if you shave it, boss.
I never said that. I never said that.
I'm glad Alex took that farther than where I was going with it because I just said,
Oh,
hey,
I'll always go there. Oh.
Don't even go there.
You do it, babe. Please do.
Yeah.
Is there a
Basically-
manscaping version?
I can't find it.
It's a manscaping lawnmower 4.0.
So
Can you
basically,
put that
what
stuff
I
on a
do is,
lawnmower?
basically what I've done is I've got myself.
Boss has lost control now.
Shut up.
He's trying to regain it, but in vain.
Cool. Shut
Right,
up, your
I'm
tots.
back, right?
What I do
Say
is,
it, isn't he?
I was showing the owner of this my video, and I get one of these Tamiya pots. So they're the big ones. They're not like the small ones, big ones. And then what I do is I cut a circle of gauze, push my thumb in and make it a dome. Fill it up to about halfway with Brush Magic, and all you got to do is dip your paintbrush in, rub it against the gauze 2 or 3 times, pull it out, wipe it on tissue, then add isopropyl alcohol to clean off the Brush Magic, and that brush is as clean as before you first even used it. It's brilliant stuff. And so I've done a video on it. Go and check it out, okay? But yeah, hairy stick if you paintbrush, hairy stick, and a blow dry if you use in your airbrush. But don't leave it in your airbrush overnight because it makes your your O-rings expand like donuts, and they don't go back, and you lose the seal. So use
So
it.
what are we actually talking about now, Moss?
Yeah,
We're still on about like.
Don't leave it in overnight, or
Because I'm really worried about my O-ring now.
I'm biting my tongue. Okay.
I'm concerned about my O-rings
O-rings are
now.
going to expand.
I should have done just a fucking auction to be done with this.
Yes, you should have done it, man.
I'll do an auction next week. Right, that's it. I'm done. Right. You've embarrassed me too much. Thank you all for watching Airfix and Chill. Remember to subscribe to each and every one of us if you're not a subscriber. This
And
isn't.
check your O-rings.
Yeah, check your O-rings. This isn't, as I said, Airfix and
Especially in the
Chill.
morning.
Basically, Airfix and Chill isn't Moss 65. I know I host it, but it's to help other scale modelers engage with the community.
Because you're amazing,
our own,
support
I
everyone.
feel like we're our own little, and the people in the chat who watch us while they're building on their workbenches. It's like a little model club of our own.
It is. No, I've said it 1,000 times, and I'll say it 1,000 times again. This is our little digital modeling club, and it's yeah.
Perhaps we need to join the IPMS as a group.
Yeah. We could have an Airfix and Chill sig.
Yes.
Yeah, no, we could. It's really good. Category.
One last thing before I go, I've got to mention this. Dave at 3D Gizmo has printed off. I've got original here, so no one else has got these. He's done them for me so I can review them for him. 1/35 storage sets, 1 and 2.
Cute.
These are absolutely fantastic. I'll just go on big screen because I said I'll mention him as well. I've got to mention, but these are, if you look, you see the detail.
Oh my god, that's so cute.
Yeah, nice.
Those are really good. Yeah.
So you've got your tarpaulins. You've got He's got 2 different sets. He's asked me to review them and to give him any feedback. You know, you've got one here with like cans in and stuff. It's
Oh my
brilliant.
god, that's cute.
And that is a fully 3D printed jerry can.
Yeah.
With the handles on it as well.
Oh wow, like it's fully
Yeah.
segregated. Like you can literally put your hand for it. Wow.
Yeah. So that's 135th, and I'm reviewing them this week. Not to put as a video, but he wants to know my thoughts and reaction to it. But if you see him at Bugle Corps, just mention my name, all right? And just say, Modern sent me. No, because he needs to know who's helping him, if you know what I mean. He needs to do it. Plastic Moz coat. No, I'm not a coat, mate. I'm not a coat. But anyway, right, that's it. It's 20 past. I've got to go. Thank you all for watching. We'll see you next week. Take care, everyone. And
everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.